Okay, this is Chris Saxman from Virginia Free, former member of the House of Delegates, and I am honored to be joined, emotionally moved to be joined by Billy Mills, the 1964 gold medalist in the Tokyo Games in the 10,000 meter race that has never been won by anyone in the Western Hemisphere, a true American icon who's coming to Richmond, Virginia to dedicate the Virginia Indian Monument. He's joining us from Sacramento, California. Welcome, Billy Mills.
Thank you. It's a pleasure for me to be here. I'm excited, and I'm looking forward to being in Virginia, I think on the 24th of June for the groundbreaking.
It's an exciting project on the Capitol Square. The Capitol Commission is dedicating the Virginia Indian Monument. Billy, share with us why this is so important to Americans and Virginians, and why we should be more aware of the journey that the Native Americans have had in the Commonwealth and the country, and what this monument does.
I think the monument has far-reaching capabilities of bringing not just people in Virginia, not just the tribal people, non-tribal people, but in so many ways, it is what is needed for America to come together, or for a reconciliation of America, and collectively for us to look into the horizon of the future and choreograph that future, making America the promised land for everybody. And here's why I'm saying this. My wife and I have gotten off a train or a plane in different parts of the world, 108 different countries I've traveled to, Istanbul, for example, and a man stops me and he asks me if I'm from the United States of America, if I'm indigenous. I told him, yes, I am. And he asked if he could ask me some questions. He asked me if I knew the doctrine of discovery. I said, yes. He said, does America know it? No. Do you know manifest destiny? Yes. Does America know it? Do they teach it? No. Do you know every treaty signed with the tribes have been broken in America? Yes. Does America? No. Do you know more land was needed? They took more Indian land to build dams. Are you aware of that? I said, yes. Is America aware of that? No. Then do you realize the United States government, this country that I love, that I served as an officer in the United States Marine Corps, that I was willing to give my life for so future generations can live? Do they teach any of this? No. And do you realize you cannot sue? Correct. Well, that laid the groundwork where I was determined, as I discussed and answered questions he asked me, that I'm going to give that message in America so we can come together. And the doctrine of discovery basically is this: any new lands found, courtesy of the Vatican. And it was not Jesus Christ. It was not the teachings of Jesus. It's called Christendom, where individuals using free will chose to manipulate the teachings of Jesus for their own personal gain. The doctrine of discovery was written, courtesy of the Vatican. Any new lands found can only belong to the first Christian monarch that discovers them. And the inhabitants, the indigenous people, pagans, must be brought to Christianity. And they must come under international rules of law. Basically, upon landing on their shores, their laws, their religion, their song, their dance no longer applies, and they submit to Christianity. But within a short period of a generation or two, it was realized if the indigenous people of America were brought to Christianity, they could own land. So that one was determined. Half of my ancestry, I'm half white European ancestry, I'm half Native American. Half of my ancestry was declared not human. We had no souls. That created, in a sense, other countries are saying, and I think we need to address it, a genocide of millions and millions and millions of indigenous people. 60 million to 100 million indigenous people in the Americas when the Europeans first landed. At the end of the wars, germs, etc., 6 million survived. But what is the United States of America? Estimates of 12 to 23 million at the end of the wars. My Native American ancestry comes from the surviving 250,000. So other parts of the world are calling this the greatest, most devastating genocide of humanity. And I'm determined that We address it. We create our journey into the horizon, seeking our future collectively. So 1823, the United States government, to win a lawsuit, our Supreme Court basically adopted the doctrine of discovery as their policy toward the treatment of the tribal nations in what are the boundaries of the United States, called manifest destiny. Indians cannot own land. So that journey set the footprints for my steps I lay on Mother Earth. And that is basically still good law in our United States of America law books. That's still good law. A fundamental change would be removing that, changing it. But when we look at this incredible day we're going to have, the 24th of June, groundbreaking for that monument plays a major, major role, depending on how people are taught, the lessons they learn, not to divide, but to bring us together and build this great country.
In our pre-interview conversation, you talked passionately about this need for reconciliation and to educate Americans further about the entire journey. And your journey, your story is incredible. Tell us more about your path and how, we know Billy Mills, the Olympian, right? That's the bullet point. That, gold medalist, there he is. But you were close to suicide because you didn't feel you belonged growing up. Tell us about your journey through the pain and to how we can get to that path of reconciliation. Because you're a Christian today, raised Catholic, Christian today, same thing. Most people, some people don't know that. But talk about that in how we all can try to get to that place of unity and reconciliation.
I think what I took from sport, that one moment in time winning the gold medal at the Olympic Games, it was called one of the greatest moments ever in sport, one of the greatest upsets. It was called magical. But that's not what I took from sport. Ultimately, traveling to 108 different countries around the world, I took a true sense of global unity through the dignity, through the character, through the beauty of global diversity. Unity through diversity. Not only is the theme of the Olympic Games, far more important, the future of humankind. And this came about all when I was just this young boy. My mom died. I was mourning the loss of my mother. And my dad simply said, "Son, you have broken wings." He hugged me and said, "It takes a dream to heal broken wings." He took a stick and he drew a circle. The soil is all fluffed up. Step inside of the circle, son. I remember stepping inside, and he told me to look inside of my heart. His hand is on my chest. Your mind, your body, your spirit, your soul. What do you find? I'm this 9-year-old. I can't respond. Boom! He clapped his hands. I'll tell you what you find. Anger, hate, jealousy, self-pity. All of those emotions will destroy you. Look deeper, way down deeper where the dreams lie, son. Find your dream. It's the pursuit of a dream that heals broken souls. That led me, my dad died when I was 12, to realize the doctrine of discovery, manifest destiny, treaty signed, treaties broken, in so many ways locked me and other indigenous people, African American people, outside of that American dream, with this incredible opportunity that our country provides. I found myself locked outside of that dream. And that ultimately led close to suicide. Till my ears were not hearing. Energy underneath my body, movement, formed a word as a junior in college. And I'll never forget the feeling of hearing the word through movement. Don't. And the fourth time, gentle, loving, powerful, don't. And it sounded like my dad's voice. I got off the chair, simply to heal a broken soul. I wrote down, gold medal, 10,000 meter run. The creator.
that was in that moment. That's what that became your goal.
Believe.
That was your dream. That was your goal.
That was my goal. Not to win the gold medal. The goal was to heal a broken soul. And the dream, heal the broken soul, was to win a gold medal at the Olympic Games.
You did that. That's amazing. You've shared a lot with us. I didn't realize you lost both of your parents so young. What a challenge to overcome that adversity. Um, Share with us the Native American experience is something that we just don't pay attention to in our history. We don't touch on it very much. I taught history. It really wasn't a part of the curriculum. It's really not in the textbooks. It's not genuinely a part of that. Will this monument at least begin that process of honoring those individual journeys, your story? I mean, is your story an opportunity to share the deeper connection to our Native American heritage in America?
I think the monument can do exactly what you said. I think the monument can help heal, but a lot of it is going to depend. For example, I'm going to read a comment. I just call these the vision and mission statement to the monument. I don't know what they are, but they're very, very critical. Telling the comprehensive story of Virginia's past at the state capitol. Addressing centuries of historical omission by creating opportunities to learn about the history, the culture of Virginia Indians. Honoring the past. So to do that powerfully and correctly, we're going to have to tell about footprints that were laid on Mother Earth to create this beautiful country we have today. And in those footprints, we cannot eliminate the doctrine of discovery. We cannot eliminate treaties signed, treaties broken. We cannot eliminate slavery. They're part of our past. Other countries are studying that part of our past.
Right.
We need to study. Right. We need to come together and collectively, that monument, other monuments, coming together, dialoguing based on truth, we choreograph the horizon of our future collectively.
Well, that's so beautiful. And one of the things that when I was teaching history, to get students engaged and to want to learn history was to show the relevance of that history to their own lives that they are currently leading. And everyone has reconciliation in their daily existence. I mean, they all have pain. Those negative voices that you were dealing with, we have those. That fear, that anger, those emotions that we want to get rid of to be peaceful in our lives and successful and happy and at rest. That's the relevance of going through this journey that some people frankly don't want to go on because they're going to feel like they're put upon, like the sins of our fathers are going to weigh their future down. But we have to honor what has happened and transpired, and your story, your journey, your success at overcoming that pain is beautiful. And as man to man and American to American, I just can't thank you enough for wanting to share that.
I had to share it to keep from suicide because I broke. And very little simple ways in the eyes of the person sharing or talking to me, having no idea the depth of pain it brought me. I'm half Indian, I'm half white. Half of me had to heal, and half of me and half of my Indian relatives, many have been broken. The other half of me experienced this very delicate, beautiful inheritance of opportunities within this country, and that ultimately I started calling white pride. Both sides of me have to heal. I have, for example, have been offered opportunities to join these very powerful business clubs. And the reason I chose not to is because of the final comment that has been made on occasion. Besides, Billy, you have qualified.
Oh.
What do you have qualified?
What?
Right. So I've experienced white privilege within me that has to heal. I've experienced brokenness inside of me that has to heal. And that started me looking at my total being, looking at the total being of America, and then magnified when I'm in Istanbul or in Singapore or the Maldives, and we're talking about And I'm hearing other countries tell me about the broken treaties of my tribe, about the doctrine of discovery,
Right.
about manifest destiny, and about what they say genocide that occurred throughout the Americas. We need to tell our story of our footprints, Indian, non-Indian, white, Asian American, etc., European American. We need to tell our footprints collectively and choreograph
Yeah.
collectively the future of this great country. So that's basically why I'm doing it.
Do you think you are in a unique position because 50% Native American, 50% European? You seem like a natural human bridge from the past to the future. Is that fair? I don't want to put that on you, but is that? I mean, that's a unique moment for a human being to play in a role in life.
We
I
all
mean,
have uniqueness in us.
let me back it up because when we were transitioning to the interview, I think your granddaughter say, "Way to go, Grandpa," and that was just so because that's the next generation, and that's so beautiful. But you have this unique moment to bring to Virginia this experience and say we can heal
I, I
from
think
this
I think
from this past.
I think the strength and the beauty I have to heal from the past. Uh, you met my granddaughter earlier before the interview. She has some incredible strengths and incredible heritage of beauty. Her other grandfather came from Iran and was
Wow.
the Iranian ambassador to the UN and didn't saw how corrupt the Ayatollah Khomeini was. He wants to resign. He can't resign. He had to sneak across the border. Came back to the States. A brilliant man. She has his blood running through her veins. She has my blood running through her
Right.
veins. I have relatives are African American blood, African blood, Asian blood, Japanese, Chinese. These are blood relatives of mine. So I feel so blessed by having an experience of this incredible diversity of humanity worldwide. And I just put all of that together with a very powerful Lakota prayer that simply says, we are all related. So why not come together? Why not choreograph
Well,
our journey?
Well, I can't wait to meet you in person on June 24th here in Richmond, Virginia, at the state capitol of Virginia, which, as you know, was the original colony, which has significant meaning in American history and hopefully significant meaning in America's reconciliation with itself. Obviously, you've been through your own reconciliation. Most everyone I know has to go through some form of brokenness and reconciliation. Some make it and some don't, and hopefully you're sharing your experience and your words of wisdom. I love this pursuit of dreams that heals the soul. Those are powerful. Broken wings heal dream, or broken wings are cured with dreams. And um, Billy, it's been an honor and a pleasure to have you here. And I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure you're there on the 24th. But if I don't, it's been an honor to meet you here. Any final words of wisdom you'd like to share with us today?
I'd like to simply close by saying I'm looking forward to being there on the 24th of June, and where Virginia, the great people of Virginia, may see themselves as bringing people together within their state. I see Virginia taking the early footsteps to bring America together. And in so many ways, that's sacred. So I'm honored and I'm humbled to join you.
Oh, it is sacred. And in the political world we live in today, Billy, I can't think of a more important time for you to come to Virginia. We have an important election coming up this fall, but we have to come together afterwards and govern and live peaceably amongst ourselves so that our children and grandchildren can have an even greater future than the one that we had. So,
Thank you.
Billy Mills, it has been a lifetime honor to meet you, and I look forward to seeing you in June. Thank you so much for your time.
Likewise. Bye bye.
Take care, my friend.